Townsend, a midfield quartet of Matt Phillips, Okay Yekuzlu, Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Callum Robinson. I'll break off because West Brom have made a horrible error at the back. Iheanacho through on goal. He's going around Johnston. Johnston is on the floor. Iheanacho shoots and he's denied by the keeper. The danger's still not over yet. Leicester win the ball just on the edge of the box. Castagna squares it to Madison and he curls it a long way over the bar, but that's a huge opportunity for Leicester to take the lead in the early stages, and it was Iheanacho who was running through on goal, and at this moment he would have made a better fist of it. It's a terrible mistake by Dara O'Shea. The ball was played long up to him and he just couldn't quite get control of the ball. Iheanacho tried to take it round Johnston. He made himself big, and then the follow-up effort came from James Maddison, but that's an early warning sign for West Brom. Leicester were ruthless when they played Sheffield United earlier this month. Another side marooned in the bottom three, and Sheffield United are officially marooned now, we can say, because their relegation to the Championship was confirmed at the weekend. West Brom are coming forward now, looking to try and wake themselves up. It's Phillips who puts the ball in. It's over Evans' head. It comes out. There's going to be a shot at goal from Diagne, and it's blocked by Fofana. Diagne reverses it back into the box. And there is Evans to sweep up. It clears it forward, but it already has the hallmarks of a pretty exciting game as West Brom try and come forward again. Mateus Pereira and Mbaye Diagne are the other two players in the West Brom lineup as the ball is played forward from Madison to Vardy. It looks as though he may have been offside, but the ball came off Vardy's heel, so it doesn't matter anyway. West Brom have been able to clear. Phillips' ball in. Eventually found Diagne via a couple of ricochets, but his effort was blocked by the Leicester defence, and the scoreline remains 0-0 with 4 minutes on the clock. It's the last Premier League game of this midweek schedule, a week that, as everyone will know by now, has been a tumultuous one, not just in the Premier League but in the football world really. Hopefully the right thing has now been done and the sport can go on with its head held high after what's been a very unedifying turn of events. Leicester City, third in the Premier League, but they wouldn't get invited to this proposed European Super League. Just having another look at the replay of that Diagne shot. It was an air shot initially, played it back into the box, and it was cleared by Johnny Evans. Leicester play it forward now. It's Madison who's already picking up plenty of space. That's a nice ball forward to Iheanacho, but they had to control it when it just skipped up off the turf, and Townsend was able to play it back to Johnston, who launches it forward over to the far side now. Leicester looking to come forward again. Moves made by Wilfred and Didi. It's going to be a throw-in now for the Foxes. As I was mentioning, third in the Premier League, but they didn't get the golden ticket to this proposed competition, whereas Arsenal and Tottenham, who are well out of contention it seems for a top 4 place, did. Make of that what you will. Here comes Fofana. Fofana to Castagna on this near side. Midway inside the West Brom half. Castagna goes back in field. Tielemans curls it forward. It's controlled by Madison, but the challenge was made by Bartley. Here is Evans now. West Brom are probably going to try and sit deep and spring forward on the counter as much as possible. They do have 2 direct players out wide in the form of Matt Phillips and Callum Robinson, and then you've got the creativity of Mateus Pereira in behind and by Diagne. Sam Allardyce did try and strengthen his squad in January, back when it looked like it was very unlikely they'd stay in the Premier League. This is a really good run forward by Soyuncu. Just as I say that though, he takes it too far, but he's won the ball back. Here is Iheanacho now, 30 yards out. Madison into Iheanacho quickly. Iheanacho's touch lets him down. It's cleared by O'Shea. Comes now to Fofana. The referee has blown his whistle. Fofana plays it out for a throw-in. It looks as though there is an injury to one of the West Brom players. It's Maitland-Niles who's gone down. And Ainsley Maitland-Niles did have to pass a fitness test to be involved today. Both he and Bartley were doubts for this, but both of them are in the starting 11. And it looks as though he's just maybe overexerted himself as he tried to challenge Soyuncu as he ran forward. Slightly awkward landing by the looks of it on his left leg, so he's just got up to his feet now. Vardy making sure he's okay. Maitland-Niles An England international now, made his debut earlier this season. Very much an outsider to go to the Euros because he didn't get called up to the recent March squad. West Brom play the ball back to Leicester now. They're throwing though deep inside their own half. I don't think Leicester are too impressed by that, given that West Brom now have ample opportunity to just hem them in inside their own half. Ball retrieved by Fofana, who's been an outstanding capture. Still very young, 19 years old, and he cost a lot of money from St Etienne, but if there's any scouting department in the Premier League that knows what they're doing when it comes to recruiting players, it is Leicester. And he certainly repaid the faith, and now they've got a very solid defensive lineup with he, Evans and Soyuncu. Brendan Rodgers has altered formations this season. West Brom give the ball away again. It's with Vardy now. Vardy slides in James Maddison. Can Maddison square it? He can't. It takes a deflection and then back off Maddison and out for a goal kick. So a little bit unfortunate. Maddison tried to just slide it in first time towards Iheanacho at that back post. But again, it's very sloppy from West Brom in midfield. I think it's Yukuzlu that makes the error this time. And I think you probably wanted it, if you're of a Leicester persuasion, to be the other way round. Maddison playing the ball to Vardy rather than the other way round. Maybe Maddison could have turned away from the challenge that came in on him, but he had to react quickly, and he was very unfortunate. The fact the ball just bounced up off him. And now for a goal kick. It's 3-0 to Leicester in the reverse fixture at the Hawthorns earlier this season. And a win for Leicester would complete their first double over West Brom. Way back in 1938, that is quite the hoodoo. Of course, there have been extended periods when these sides haven't played each other because they've been in different divisions, but it's still always a surprising record when you see stats like that dated back as far as it is. 93 years now. Evans rolls the ball back to the Leicester skipper, Kasper Schmeichel. That's not the best kick out, it's way over Castagne's head, and West Brom will get the throw-in on this near side, midway in the Leicester half. Leicester 0, West Brom 0 is the scoreline, 9.5 minutes on the clock. Both sides have had their chances early on. Here's Townsend. Ball in hand, ready to take the throw-in, which he does. Leicester win that one back with a sense of real ease, but West Brom roll it back now all the way to Sam Johnston. Cross for Darragh O'Shea, Republic of Ireland international. Now Furlong. Furlong forward quickly. Just over Diagne's head. Fofana had to make sure that Pereira wasn't to take the ball off him. Here is Ndidi. Ndidi forward now to Iheanacho. Iheanacho with the outside of his left foot tries to find Castagne. He just lost his balance and goes out for a throw-in. Lively start to this one. Leicester City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0, but Leicester had a great opportunity to take the lead after just 2 minutes. It was really sloppy play from Darragh O'Shea. The Foxes pumped a long ball upfield. O'Shea miscontrolled it. Iheanacho took the ball off him. He was one-on-one with Sam Johnston. You thought with his recent form he was going to slot it in the back of the net. He delayed his shot. He tried to take it around the outside of the goalkeeper, who eventually smothered the effort. Maddison on the follow-up had a shot from the edge of the box, which went over the bar. Another mistake from Yukuzlu, so Vardy played the ball into Maddison, left side of the box, but his cross went behind for a goal kick via a double deflection. Diagne's had a half strike as well in the box for West Brom, but nothing came of it. It's Leicester 0, West Brom 0. Throwing now for the Foxes with Luke Thomas, the academy fullback, to take it. A man who'll hope to follow in the footsteps of Ben Chilwell, who established himself as a terrific player with Leicester, but they've got that business model whereby if an offer that is simply too good to turn down comes in, they will accept, and that's what they did with Chilwell, who's now at Chelsea. Likewise, you can look at Harry Maguire for that as well, when £80 million was offered to Leicester from Manchester United. They weren't in a great position to turn that down. N'Golo Kante and Riyad Mahrez as well from the title-winning side. Danny Drinkwater, but that's what's so impressive about Leicester, the fact that they can rebuild themselves. They've got a very talented manager in Brendan Rodgers. They've got to do some defending though at the minute, because Robinson has played the ball down the channel. It's found Townsend via a ricochet. Here is Kujlu now, in for Townsend, and now Robinson has moved infield. Robinson wants to play it backwards now to O'Shea in the centre circle. O'Shea forward. It's touched down by Pereira. It goes out of play for a throw-in. Not the best control from the West Brom number 12, who was so instrumental in their promotion from the Championship last season. He may have to do it all over again next season. In all likelihood, he will, unless, of course, he seeks pastures new. West Brom were level pegging with Leeds for much of the season in the Championship. Fulham not far behind as well, so there will be that sense of disappointment that they've seemingly just approached this Premier League season with a bit of a whimper, and it looks as though they're going to be relegated, but there's still life in them yet, as evidenced by the last couple of games. 3-0 win against Southampton, following up the 5-2 win against Chelsea. Here is Tielemans now, cross to Soyuncu. Thomas is outside him, but Soyuncu puts the gas on again. Stops though in time to play it to Maddison. Now Tielemans in the centre circle. Fofana's coming forward now to join in. Back with Tielemans. West Brom trying to chase to win the ball back, but Leicester very comfortable on it at the moment, even though they're not really going anywhere. It's now Evans on the ball, formerly of Manchester United, a Premier League winner back in the day, so someone that knows what it takes to win at this level. Kasper Schmeichel as well, one of few survivors left from that Leicester side that won the title in 2016. There's him and Vardy, of course. Mark Albrighton's more of a squad player these days, and Wes Morgan's still at the club, but rarely features because of the players that have come in to replace him. Christian Fuchs likewise. Here is Bartley. Bartley controls it with his chest and then smashes it forward up towards Soyuncu, who'll win that easily ahead of Pereira. West Brom win it back though, deep inside their own half, forward by O'Shea. It's a bit of an aimless punt, but it at least gets the ball out of harm's way for now. O'Shea puts his arm up. I think he acknowledges that it wasn't the best use of the ball. 14.5 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. Leicester 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Actually, Ian Atcho with the game's best chance after just 2 minutes. Lovely crossfield switch from Soyuncu to Castagna. And here's Ndidi for Tielemans. Fofana. In the midfield now, it's with Maddison. Back to Soyuncu. Now Maddison, who's got some making up to do following that COVID-19 breach. He and all the players that were involved in that have been challenged by Brendan Rodgers to put that one to bed. Interplay between Vardy and Castagna on this near side. Castagna will try and get there ahead of Townsend, and Townsend goes to ground. Castagna pleading his innocence, but the referee, or the assistant I should say, on the near side had his flag up pretty quickly. Just a little bit too rough and ready with the former Scunthorpe left back. And West Brom will have a free kick now. It was Maddison, Perez, Barnes and Wes Morgan, the players that were involved. Saw them dropped from the squad. Rodgers clearly laying down the law, even though it would have harmed his side to not have them involved in proceedings. Fofana to take the throw-in. Just been told to get backwards by the referee today, who is Andy Madley. Back to Fofana. Cross to Soyuncu. And Thomas, he's got space to work with. Thomas taking it forward into midfield for Tielemans. That's a lovely ball around the corner for Maddison. Maddison just
استلم الان كاستان. الوضع الان يعني حيكون بالفعل شرس للغاية في الأسابيع الأخيرة من عمر البريمير ليج. الصراع على شد من أجل
Leicester do from this corner. It's going to be drilled towards the edge of the box, towards the edge of the 6-yard box, I should say, where Fofana was making a run completely free of anyone, but Johnston was able to get the ball away. Game not really advancing in the way you thought it might, particularly after the first couple of minutes. No real chances to speak of. There is Castagna with the throw-in. Iheanacho wants it, as does Tielemans, but Iheanacho will get it. That's really poor though from Kelechi Iheanacho, trying to find his compatriot Ndidi, and now West Brom, I was going to say, with a chance to counter-attack. It's a great interception by Soyuncu. Over on the far side now, and another sloppy ball, this time from Luke Thomas. It means West Brom have a throw-in on the far side in front of the empty King Power Stadium. Not long to go now until fans should be back in attendance. Leicester saw their FA Cup semi-final played in front of 4,000 spectators at Wembley. A mixture of local residents and NHS workers being allowed to attend as one of the pilot events before, hopefully sooner rather than later, stadiums could be fully packed again. West Brom come forward, but that's a nice interception from Evans. Now Ndidi runs into trouble. Here is Pereira, forward to Diagne, edge of the box. Diagne rolls it backwards to Pereira. He tried to do a disguised ball to Robinson, not able to do so, and then played forward to Iheanacho on the turn, who's brought down by Kyle Bartley. Does the referee want to take further action? I think he's just got away with that for now, but that's probably his last warning. Really dragging back Kelechi Iheanacho. Very good turn as well from the Nigerian. Nice one between the legs. Not necessary foul really from Bartley, because he crucially was there for company too. Here's Tielemans. Now Evans. Castagna on this near side. Forward to Tielemans. Iheanacho back to goal. The ball out of fate, plays it backwards now for Soyuncu. Forward to Maddison on the half turn. Here is Tielemans, now back with Maddison. Tielemans, all the a little bit congested in that midfield. West Brom trying to suffocate Leicester as much as possible and succeeding on this occasion. Leicester was playing it backwards. Tielemans. Castanier's got a bit of space to operate in on this side. Forward by Fofana, into Castagna. Castagna rolls it in for Jamie Vardy, and Leicester have the lead. Vardy, is he looking over? Well, I'm sure there'll be a VAR check there. What a ball that was by Fofana through to Castagna. Castagna then squared it to Vardy. I think he must have timed his run well. And there he was, just to curl that one past the despairing Johnston. Have a look at the replay now. Castagna, I think, tried to delay the run as much as possible. He looks onside from the replay and plays it to Vardy, and it's a very confident finish, swept into the near corner. Sam Johnston backpedaling. It made it quite straightforward for the former England striker. And Leicester City have the lead. The game hasn't kicked off yet. Just be waiting for the moment. Midway through the first half as well, so Leicester had to be quite patient, but they've eventually broken the resistance. The game is back underway. Leicester lead by 1-0. Midway through the first half, and Leicester City have just taken the lead. It's Leicester 1, West Brom 0. It's Jamie Vardy with the goal. It's a wonderful through ball from Wesley Fofana through to Timothy Castagna. West Brom's line was caught really high. Castagna looked up, he squared the ball to Vardy just inside the box, and it was a very confident finish, sweeping it past Sam Johnston. Leicester 1, West Brom 0. Castagna. Ball played over the top now for Iheanacho, and O'Shea comes across and makes a very timely intervention. West Brom are now going to have to push further forward, and a draw would be pretty pointless at this stage for them. They have to go for the win, so that's really going to open the game up nicely for Leicester, you feel. Damage limitation at this stage is completely worthless for Sam Allardyce's men. It's looking like he's going to have a first relegation on his CV. Came into the job in December, and he's simply not been able to lead a transformation. Tielemans puts a corner in. It's a low one, and it tried to catch out West Brom. Vardy is at the near post, making a burst, just trying to get a touch on the ball, because when it's coming in at such pace, any touch will be dangerous from the West Brom perspective. Denied a second goal in the matter of a couple of minutes. Corner comes in longer this time, and it's nodded in at the back post following a touch, and it's Johnny Evans who's doubled Leicester's lead. West Brom looking like they're falling apart now. It was a flick on at the near post. Evans came steaming in, no one was picking him up. Very straightforward. Leicester lead by 2-0. 2 goals in 3 minutes for Leicester City, who are now 2-0 up. It's Johnny Evans who's got the goal. Very simple. Sam Allardyce will be incredibly frustrated with his side's defending. It was an outswinging corner by Yuri Tielemans on the near side, flicked on by Wilfred Ndidi at the near post, and coming in at the back stick was Johnny Evans to head into an empty net. Leicester 2, West Brom 0. As easy as you like. He barely needed to break sweat to get that goal. Ominous signs, and this would be such a vital win for Leicester. You can almost forgive them for not finishing in the Champions League last season. Ultimately, they were overhauled, and injuries and lack of form played its part. But to do it 2 years in a row, questions would have to be asked, and I'm sure Brendan Rodgers would be doing a bit of soul searching if they weren't to finish in the top 4. Had a decent go of the Europa League this season, but were dumped out by Slavia Prague, and in very disappointing fashion as well. confident, they're looking potent, they're looking dangerous. Even though the opposition now aren't on the same level as them. Here is Thomas now. West Brom try and win the ball high up the field. They've got to still believe that they're in a game here. O'Shea knocks it forward now, high up into the air. And Didi wins the header. Bit of head tennis going on now. Headed forward by Thomas. Yukujlu chests it down. And that's just played out into touch by Darnell Furlong. And Leicester have themselves a throw-in. Vardy always appealing for those balls over the top because he might be 34. He's still got a really good burst of pace. Maddison now. Lots of space for Castagna on this near side. Castagna may go for goal himself and he's hit the post. Leicester nearly with 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes, and West Brom have to try and get a grip of themselves. Again, so much space for them to run into. It came from just a simple throw-in on the far side, around about the halfway line. Maddison saw the run that Castagna was making. Castagna burst forward. Maybe the covering challenge just made him strike the ball sooner than he would have liked, but it's Maddison now. Maddison rolls it on for Vardy. Vardy shoots. It's a daisy cutter, and Sam Johnston can save it. He was aiming for the far corner. Timothy Castagna denied a goal there. Where was the defending from West Brom's point of view? The first touch wasn't great. Just took it a little bit too close to the recovering defenders. Shot came just as he got inside the D, and it hit the far post. Sam Johnston was scrambling to get there. If it had been a couple of inches inside, I still don't think the keeper would have got there, and Castagna would have been wheeling away, and Leicester would have been 3-0 up. So West Brom can be thankful for the woodwork. Here is Maddison now. Back to Soyuncu. Leicester can dictate this game at their own pace now. Fofana, now Didi, now the corner for Tielemans. Links up with his countryman Castagna. Player who was brought in as Ben Chilwell's replacement in the summer. He's a right footer, but he's played a lot at left back in his career. He's got lots of options to work with when he's got a fully fit squad, Brendan Rodgers. Still a few key players out injured, Harvey Barnes and James Justin, to name a couple. Here is Castagna. Forward now to Vardy. Vardy shoots first time. I think he was just trying to lob the keeper, Johnston, who was coming out sort of in no man's land really, but Vardy so good at making those off the last man runs. He may have just been offside, I think, looking at the replay I've got on my screen. Got to applaud the effort. Vardy looking for goal number 2 of the afternoon. West Brom play it forward now. Themselves a throw in. It's with Furlong midway inside the Leicester half. Back to O'Shea now. Maddison's pressing him, pressing O'Shea all the way back to Bartley, who in turn all the way back to Sam Johnston. It's an ominously familiar pattern that West Brom are going through now. You just don't want to see them going through the motions for the rest of the season, almost resigned to their fate. Sam Allardyce, the camera's just focusing on him now, looking in his usual slouch position in the dugout, furiously barking out orders. Not been the job for him. The boyhood Wolves fan, of course, but he took the West Brom job feeling that he could recreate some of the magic that has seen him be so successful with clubs like West Brom. That's not to say that disparagingly. Allardyce has always seemed to get the right mix coming into jobs like this. Perhaps the game is just moving on from the likes of Allardyce, and there are other managers you could probably put in that bracket as well. Leicester taking an awfully long time over this throw-in. They eventually put it back into play. Roll back to Thomas. Curls it forward. Turns out to be a good ball to Iheanacho, but West Brom take it off him. Challenge comes in though from Fofana, and Iheanacho rolls it into the feet of Maddison. Vardy's pulling out wide. Several blue shirts coming forward. Maddison tried to thread the eye of the needle to find Castagne's run. Castagne's enjoying himself on that far side. Tielemans wins it back, and it's with James Maddison again. Here is Castagne. Iheanacho may fancy it from this range. He does. Probably took a bit too long. The shot's blocked. Comes to Maddison though. Now Castagne. Maddison on his left foot goes for goal. And Sam Johnston makes that one look pretty straightforward in the end. He's having a good game. He's obviously got a point to prove, Maddison. Playing like a man with that indeed. Good run by Castagne. Comes back to him. Even when West Brom win the ball off Leicester, Leicester have win it back in double quick time.